Hi, I'm Ashley from Divorce Lawyers for Men. Today I'm going to walk you through some of the documents you'll need to fill out in a divorce or custody case in Washington State. Let's get started. Adding on to the financial component of the divorce case, the other form that you will fill out is called the Washington State Child Support Schedule Worksheets. This document basically has a column for your income and a column for your spouse's income. Again, try not to worry too much if you don't have access or even knowledge of what your spouse's income is. There are various calculation methods that you can use, and you can get that information by speaking with an attorney to go over what your best option would be. So for the sake of clarity and filling out this document, we will just focus on your income specifically. So again, at the top here, you will fill out that case heading for the pleading, and then all of your income is plugged in here. So it's a breakdown of your gross monthly income, as well as in section 2, all of your monthly deductions from that gross income. And line 3 is your monthly net income. Sections 4, 5, and 6 is when we get into the combination of the two parties, you and your spouse, for kind of the total available income for considerations of child support. That number would populate here. Again, this is after you have that calculation method figured out and at least a number filled in for your spouse's income. This will calculate in section 5 what the basic child support obligation will look like. So it will be the number of children times whatever that amount is per child. And then in section 6, this is where it breaks down the proportional share of income between the parties. So it will give you a percentage of what your actual obligation is for that total child support amount. For example, let's just say it ends up being 50-50 if your income is the exact same as your spouse's. Typically, that is not the case, so it will not be a 50-50 type calculation, but just to throw numbers out there, we'll go with that for now. Section 7 is each parent's basic child support obligation. So, and this is not considering low income limitations. Each party will have a number here. The most important part of this document is really when we get down to what that final amount will look like. So these amounts are breakdowns of your income and your spouse's income, along with that percentage of the proportional share calculation above. If you're paying healthcare premiums for your children, all of those go in here. If your spouse is paying them and you know what that premium is, that would go in their column. Daycare expenses, anything relevant to childcare expenses or expenses for your children is still reflected within these worksheets, even though they've already been referenced in the financial declaration. And section E will total those expenses. Section 12 will combine daycare expenses. Section 13 is for healthcare and daycare and special expenses. Section 14, each parent's obligation for those individual expenses. Child support credits, depending on how much you're paying for those insurance premiums or daycare and special expenses. And section 17. This is probably the most important section of the document. Like I said, everything above is based on a formula and specific calculation after you plug in your income and your spouse's income. It basically auto-populates from there. So line 17 in this section will determine what that child support obligation looks like with all factors considered. So the end-all be-all of what your monthly transfer payment will look like, or the amount that your spouse should be required to pay based on your calculations. As we get further along with the document, this is just more of a breakdown of the information you've already provided. So it really is kind of like a calculator system for this document, at least the program that we use. Once the basic information is plugged in above, everything else auto-populates below. Other financial information Present value of major household assets would be listed in Section 20. Household debt in Section 21. Again, this portion or both of these portions have already been referenced in the financial declaration, but they are also transferred into these child support worksheets. Section 22, any other income. So income of a current spouse or domestic partner if you are remarried already, or again, if you have already separated from your spouse and you're going through the divorce process. If you're living with another adult, their income would go here. If you're working overtime or have a second job, income of the children typically does not apply, but if it does, it can go here. If you're receiving child support, that goes in Section E. Any sort of government assistance programs or otherwise would go in Section F. G would be anything that's not covered above. And non-recurring income, so a one-time lump sum payment, maybe a settlement, that's kind of the only thing I can think of that would be a one-time deal, but anything that would potentially apply there could go in Section 23. And if you, the party who are filling this document out, are ordered to pay child support for other children, Section 24 will give you space to fill in that information here, along with any other children living in each household, their names and ages. Section 26, other factors for consideration. So one thing that we do see with child support is a lot of people have questions on, let's say, a proposed 50-50 schedule and how that would affect child support. In Washington State, the court does not order a zero transfer of child support, meaning that because there's an even schedule, neither parent is paying the other parent child support. Sometimes that does happen by agreement, but it's very, very rare. So there still will be some form of transfer payment in 99% of all of the cases. So it's important to narrow down your income, as well as have your spouse provide that same information or get as close as you can with those calculation methods on these worksheets. And then at the bottom, signature for parent 1 and 2. Obviously, you will be the only person signing this here. If it is a proposal, your signature will go on this line, followed by the date and city where it was signed. Thank you for watching. I hope this video was helpful. For more information, visit our website at divorcelawyersformen.com.